Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 7th of August of 2023. Today we have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first we're going to start with Kherson region. Yes, there were not many updates that took place during the previous day. The only piece of information we have is that, according to the Ministry of Defense of Russian Federation, as a result of fierce fightings, artillery duels, attacking the Ukraine positions with the guided bombs, the Ukrainians lost around 20 soldiers, 3 armored vehicles and 2 artillery systems. As you can see, the level of losses is not so heavy in comparison with the previous days, so we can say that basically there was a regular normal day on the front line from Kherson to the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Now we are going to the Vremivka tactical to Orekhov, to Zaporozhye frontline, to Orekhov frontline, to the Bradley Square. There we got a lot of very interesting updates. Sometimes they were pretty opposite to each other. So let's start from the beginning. During the previous day, the Ukrainians made a few attempts to make some kind of reconnaissance in combat in this area. The Ukrainians were attacking the Russian positions at least from 3 directions. There weren't real offensive operations, just a small reconnaissance operation. The Russians, of course, were following the Ukrainian forces, and as a result of Lancet strikes, artillery strikes, and the Ukrainian armored vehicles were destroyed. And the only progress that Ukrainians managed to achieve took place, let's call it, on the eastern flank of Bradley Square. First, in this morning we got update that the Russians managed to discover and to destroy the Ukrainian Leopard 2A4 with the drone. And as a result of that kamikaze strike by the drone, that tank was destroyed. And probably that was the only update from this bridgehead, at least for some time, for some period of time. But later, somewhere at 7 p.m. of the local time, we got very interesting video from the Russian sources, from the Russian soldiers who was making his video from trenches. He was the coordinator of drones, and basically on this video we can see a part of the front line. You see there's like the forest lines, the fields and so on, and the soldier, that coordinator, was saying and was giving piece of information to soldiers from his squad, trying to navigate and coordinate their strikes. And the people from internet have already geolocated this video, and according to the piece of information we have, this event took place in this area right on the north of Verbova. And probably this is the most interesting video of today, because according to this video we understand that some Ukrainian teams, forces, were able to get Verbova as close as possible. If we will increase the number of updates that we got since the beginning of this month of August, a few days ago we got update from the western part of Verbova, the video how the Ukrainians were bombing and attacking the Russian positions. This video is dated on the 3rd of August, so just a few days ago. And the author of this video claims that the Russians were attacked and bombed by the Ukrainian cluster rounds. So why I'm showing you this video, just to understand and to see the real Russian positions in this area. So basically, according to the video we got and from the Ukrainian source, how they were bombing the Russian positions, and from the Russian sources, how they were repelling the small Ukrainian reconnaissance team in this area, I understand that the area and the video of a Ukrainian tank that was destroyed by the Russian drone, the area, let's mark it this area like this. So this area on the west of the destroyed Leopard, and to the south, right, to the Russian counter-offensive operation, is at least in the gray zone, or at least under Ukrainian control. So this territory is probably in the gray zone, and Ukrainians do have possibility. But what does it mean, the gray zone? The gray zone means that there are no strongholds, but there are just temporary positions. I believe that this is exactly the situation about this territory. The Ukrainians do have possibilities to send their reinforcements, their reconnaissance teams, and today we were the witnesses of one of those operations, and the Ukrainians managed to bypass this territory, and they were stopped just in front of Verbova. So this is the situation about Verbova and the situation on the eastern flank of Bradley Square. The Russians reported that they reported that Ukrainians slowed down and reduced their activity in the vicinity of Robotyne. Probably the Ukrainians made some changes and corrections in their plans, or at least they're continuing or doing some kind of regrouping. The Russians took a decision to use this small operational pause from the Ukrainian side, and the Russians launched their own offensive operation in direction of the brushes and trenches that the Russians left during the previous phases of Ukraine counter-offensive operation, and the Russians, according to some information we have, managed to return control over this part of the field. So they just returned the temporary strongholds, temporary positions, started mining process, and started preparation of this bridgehead before the next Ukrainian attempt to attack that obviously will take place within this week or probably the next week. Also, the Russians published the